Buccaneers and the Vikings. Richard Williamson making his debut as Buccaneers coach, and he went up against the Minnesota Viking team that had played very well. Sure, they lost last week to the Giants, but they played well anyway, except for one minor problem with the Vikings. None of their 6 wins have come outdoors. The old Vikings are rolling over in their graves. They're not even in them yet. There's Richard Williamson and Vinny Testaverde limbering up the legs. Why? Because he's about to look like Carl Lewis. Look at Vincenzo. Look at him make the move at the line of scrimmage. And Vinny takes off. Watch Carrier with the block. Right there. And Vinny, he could go all the way. Are you kidding me? Testaverde, 48 yards, a touchdown. Tommy, help me out here.
Vinny showing us a side that we have not seen. Here he breaks out of the pocket again, makes the Gale Sayers-like cut to the outside. You see the stiff arm there. He doesn't run out of bounds. He's kind of pushed out of bounds right there. And here, watch the move he makes going up the middle of the field and diving for the extra yardage. Carrying the ball like a loaf of bread, though. They'll have to work on that.
Yeah, but so what, Tommy? He's a 100-yard rusher at 107 the whole year going into today, 105 today. But Vinny can also do it with the arm. The man can do it all. Look at him dart one to Mark Carrier. He takes it 26 yards into the end zone for the touchdown. And Carrier is so psyched. Look at him team up with fellow wide receiver Willie Soviet Drury. Hey! Meanwhile, on the sidelines, Wade Wilson. When was he going to get hit? Well, after watching Rich Gannon play in a hurry. Gannon almost picked off by Urban Randall. Here, he outthrows Steve Jordan from Brown University. Here, Gannon is picked off by Rodney Rice. Rich Gannon today, 2 of 10 for 8 yards. So we bring in Wade Wilson, and he played well. Goes 24 yards to Hassan Jones. Here, Wilson goes 17 yards to Steve Jordan from Brown University. And then Wilson goes deep, 75 yards to Hassan Jones for the score, the longest touchdown pass in Wilson's career. The Vikings are within 13, 26-13. Here are his numbers, 374 yards, but 4 interceptions. On the day, 8 Viking turnovers. Here a pick by Mark Robinson of Wilson in the end zone. And here the sure-handed Rick Fenny. Stripped by number 78, John Cannon. Roderick Thomas falls on the football for the Buccaneers. And finally, it's Eric Everett that steps into the act with an interception. We mentioned the interceptions with Wilson. 5 interceptions, 3 fumbles. And it's a good thing it's warm outside. Well, what are you getting excited about? Richard Williamson's excited. He's 1-0 as a head coach. The guy ought to quit now. He's undefeated as the Buccaneers beat the Vikings 26-13. You know,
well, that's a tough call for anybody. Bucs fans is tough enough. First quarter, Warren Moon to Chris Carter, and watch this. He laterals, but correctly called forward to Jake Reed, but he forward lateral to Amp Lee. 1 lateral good, 1 lateral bad. Bring it back. 40 seconds left in the first. Robert Smith, and watch him accelerate here on the outside side.
Yeah, every time he gets to the outside, boom, he always beats everybody to the end zone. He has the burst that you look for as a coach.
Smith at 133 yards. The Vikings lead at 7-0. Third quarter, 1st and 10 for the Vikes. Again, it's Smith. Now watch him make the move on John Lynch. And he's down to the 32-yard line of Tampa Bay. But Scott Sisson missed the field goal, so no harm, no foul for the Bucs. Bucs take over on the 31. Trent Dilfer, as he's driving. Oh, my goodness. He's going to throw it to the end zone, and Rob Thomas is going to catch it. Touchdown. The first Bucs touchdown in 9 quarters. We're tied at 7. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, as Dilfer cannot believe it. Watch this. A sap sack. You've heard of sad sack? A sap sack. Warren Sapp is 5th of the year. And the Vikes settle for a field goal on this drive. It's only 10-7. The Bucs trail in the fourth quarter. Usually it's time for them to capitulate. But watch Mike Alstott, the fullback, the rookie, take boom, boom, and dive around the cone. A great play, 14-10 Bucs.
Yeah, Alstott has shown great effort throughout the losing streak. The thing you look for as a coach. And look at him take on tacklers, getting down the football field, keeping himself in bounds, presence of mind to put the ball around the cone for a touch.
And he drives the linebacker, Brady, into the end zone with him. Then Moon, picked off by Melvin Johnson. It goes back a little bit because of a penalty, but it enables the Bucs to drive deep. Don't tell me again. Thomas catches the pass from Dilfer. Touchdown. Trent Dilfer has thrown 3 touchdown passes. 21-10 the Bucs. Under 7 minutes to go, Moon finds Kadri Ismail. Boom! It's a fumble. Boom! It's a fumble. He holds on. leads the Viking field goal 21-13. So they get a touchdown on a two-point conversion they can tie. Just over 2 minutes to go. Warren Sapp. It's a fumble. Chidi bang bang Ahanatu falls on it. And the Bucs, you know, they got to learn this Gatorade thing. They kind of missed right there. But Tony Dungy, congratulations. As Husted adds football, but after the bye, they have 3 of the next 4 at Ray J Stadium. Trent Dilfer. Would he warm up? He was too warm. Bert Emanuel back, but he's not that fast, Trent. 3-0 Panthers in the second quarter. 3rd and 10. Next possession, Bucs. Riedel Anthony, too hard, too tough. The Bucs, 0 offensive touchdowns in the first half this season. It's 3-3 at the half. This is one of the games we were talking about. Third quarter, here come the Panthers. Fred Lane on the flight. Up the middle for 6 yards. After the play, William Floyd pushing Hardy Nickerson. Hardy was with us last week. He didn't tell us he would do this.
Uncalled for.
You're going to hear from the league, I'm sure. 5 plays later, 3rd and goal. Steve Berline playing now that Kerry Collins gone. Can't find Floyd. Maybe his eyes were just misty. Casey with a field goal at 6-3, Carolina. Bucs offensively still sputtering. Kevin Green, his 11th sack of the year, 25.5 in 22 games with Carolina. Late in the third quarter, hey, Wesley Walls is still a good weapon even though the team's winless.
Yeah, Wesley Walls, great hands down around the goal line. A good job of trying to get it in, taken down at the 1.
2 plays later from the 1, Fred Lane. It's Penny Lane. He's in his ears, he's in your eyes. He does the celebration. The Panthers lead at 13-3 after 3. And the Bucs pull off a comeback. 3rd and 5. Warwick Dunn had a big game, almost 100 yards for him. Down to the 8 with a 12-yard run. 3 plays later, 3rd and goal at the 1, Dilfer. Play action to Mike Allstott and Dilfer. We would see this roll out again in a more exciting game, although this wasn't bad at the end. Bucs 13-10 with 5 minutes to go. They're down by 3. Ensuing drive, the Panthers 3rd and 8. Berline, Anthony Johnson, Derek Brooks, stripping to the football. 1, 2, 3 Bucs fall on the ball. It's Tampa Bay. No, it's not. It's Carolina ball. You kidding?
Yeah, Anthony Parker on this ball. Musa Muhammad is going to come in and get it for the Panthers. Now, Dom Capers wanted this to be called possession and then a fumble recovery. Would have given him a first down. The referees didn't see it that way. Never thought that the Bucs actually had possession.
The Bucs couldn't believe they didn't recover, but that looked like a good call, so Carolina got it. They had to punt it, though. And here's Trent Dilfer under 2 minutes to go. Emmanuel broken up by Rod Smith. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds later, here comes the flag, and Dom is not exactly singing. He's livid. First down, Bucs. Next play, Dilfer to Carl the Truth Williams. 29 yards. The Bucs lead at 16-13. But remembering their old days, they missed the extra point to give Carolina a shot to tie with a field goal and not have to go for the touchdown. They get a good field goal kicker in John Casey. He's kicked a 53-yarder already today. Berline responds to Muhammad inside the 35 into Casey's range. It's going to be a 52-yarder for the tie to send it to overtime. And wait a minute, there's a flag. Oh, and the Bucs give them 5 more yards. Offside. So it's a 47-yard field goal. It's long enough. It's high enough. It's deep enough. It's wide left. Shoot off the cannons of the galleon. The Bucs have come from behind to win at 16-13, and the Panthers' nightmare continues. Second half move for Tony Dungy. They've been encouraged. Trent Dilfer played well on that Sunday night game, albeit in a loss 2 weeks ago at Lambeau Field. But on this day, after the week off, yikes. Incomplete to Warwick Dunn. Dan looking for Jacquez Green, and he's open, but he's out of bounds. And then their rookie field goal kicker, who was 10 for 10, Martin Gramatica, is incorrect. His first miss of the season, and it's a 3-0 pitcher's duel. Let's see, what is it? Orojo against Wilbur Wood, I guess. Tampa Bay against Chicago. Cade McNown would have his problems, and Tommy had talked about it earlier, that, boy, they wanted to contain him.
The first thing the Buccaneers talked about for this weekend was trying to keep Cade McNown in the pocket. You can see how difficult it is. He does a great job of spotting the lane, getting outside the end, has outstanding athleticism once he starts running down the football field. You take another look at the end of this play right here. Watch Cade McNown, the nice spin move on Derek Brooks right there, and goes for an extra 8 yards.
McNown, though, is flushed out of the pocket in a 6-0 game in the third quarter. He's picked up by ESPN's Derek Brooks. Nice enough to join us here in the studio last week. And McNown benched after this, replaced by Jim Miller because 7 drives, 7 punts. They're not the only team that struggled against Tampa Bay, but hey, Chicago's in the game. A touchdown can win it, and Dick Duran knows that, so why not go for it? fourth quarter, a change at the helm. And Curtis Enos just kind of late to the hole here on 3rd and 4.
You saw the hesitation in the backfield before he actually hit the hole. If you don't hit it on time, it's going to close before you ever get to it.
It sets up a field goal to make it 6-3. Then later in the fourth quarter, Bears driving Ryan Wetnight. Good night as Brooks drills him, but he holds onto the pass for Miller. Replay shows Wetnight, did he not have control of the ball? Well, so he doesn't make it. At any rate, 3 plays later, it's not going to matter because Derek Brooks, who was immense all game, makes the interception. He had 2 picks, he had 10 tackles, and the Buccaneers defense, we said, boy, they wouldn't need to score so much against the next few teams they were playing, but we didn't mean this much. That's a little tight. 6-3, and the Bears...
Boy, John Fox's defense keeps his team in every game, but they've lost 6 straight. The Buccaneers 7-2 coming off a bye. Aaron Schnecker, he fumbles, and the Panthers recovers in football. Ensuing drive, Rodney Peete. Steve Smith. Nice. 20 yards, Panthers take an upset at the new Sombrero, 7-0. Brad Johnson on 4th and goal. Play action to Keyshawn. Nice call, good gamble, pays off, Tom.
Yeah, Keyshawn going to come across the formation, get himself out in the flat. He's running a lot of guys through traffic. Nice job of delivering the football by Brad Johnson.
And Rodney Peete sees the platters. He sees the Harbor Lights right here. Stripped by Simeon Rice. Warren Sapp recovers. So the Bucs can't capitalize here, and so Carolina back in business. Look at Warren. It's like he's hatching the football. Pete picked off by Dwight Smith. So again, Tampa's D in a 10-10 game late third. Coming up big. Brad Johnson. Last game he threw 5 touchdown passes. Keenan McCardell wide open into the end zone. It was like a Flintstone mobile. He got the feet going forward. And 17-10 Fox. Sapp wants D. Here's one of the best. John Lynch just wrestles it free. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a very competitive division, see New Orleans lose. That means they go up by a game, and they beat the Panthers 23-10.
Yeah, and talk about that Panther defense. Buccaneers playing pretty good defense of their own. And again, you see a team held to 10 points, but this is on a weekly basis now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is officially back for this.
It was hot. And it was very, and Priest Holmes, he's been hotter than anybody. 7 touchdowns rushing last 2 games, make it 8 in 2 1/2. And we're tied at 14-all in the game. Tampa involved in a shootout. Late second quarter, Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez. Here are the Chiefs. This is what they do. And the Chiefs go ahead 24-21 with the obligatory dunk. Michael Pittman takes the pitch. And boom, he is just into the Chiefs secondary. And he could go all the way. 78 yards. Longest touchdown run in Bucs history. They lead 28-24. Then Holmes run left and hit hard by Jermaine Phillips. He's going to be upended, and we wouldn't see him for the rest of the game.
Yeah, look at him right there. Doesn't catch himself. He runs with a very reckless style. He opens himself up sometimes with some pretty huge hits.
And then Larry Johnson, Grandmama, into the end zone. A rarely seen running back where first is stuffed, then stuffed again. He tries to get in there, and so wait a minute now. So no Priest. Johnson doesn't get in, and Green rolls and finds Jason Dunn. Well done, 31-28. I mean, this game, Tampa, this is not their style, but I'll tell you what, they played right with it. Watch Michael Pittman. He had 3 TDs, including this one. Bucs lead 34-31. Extra point attempt. Not Automatica. Grammatica incorrect. Martin misses it, and it stays a 3-point game. Under 6 to go, Green. Going for it all, just overthrows. And Phillips is there, and Tom got hit on the play.
Yeah, pressure by Derek Brooks right there. Off throw, threw it too far inside. Ball intercepted.
And then Green, as they had a 3rd down, and then the Bucs thought they had it on a turnover. There was an appeal. The Chiefs had one last play on 4th and 17, but the Buccaneers go on to win the game despite the fact that Tim Brown, a few weeks ago we saw Jerry Rice's streak snap. Tim Brown, the 3rd longest streak in the history of football with consecutive receptions with 179. That now comes to a close, but Tampa Bay, they won, they had a bye, and they won.
They've lost 2 in a row after winning 4 in a row after losing 4 in a row.
Speaking of streaking,
The Falcons start Byron Leftwich at home in a game in which
no, they didn't. You just won 2 games.
Up. Yeah, he gets hit.
Joey
With the
Harrington.
pick.
I'm rooting for Joey.
Steve.
Well, Joey won 2 games,
That's
but they
right.
want Byron Leftwich to be their guy.
Well, the Bucs have their own Joey, by the way.
What a great slug or slant go by Joey Galloway for the touchdown from Garcia.
7-0. Oh, showing the guns. Showing the guns. Second quarter, Bucs still lead by that 7-0 score, and Leftwich hit, fumbles. Greg White with the hit. Rondé Barber on the spot.
As a quarterback, that clock has to go off in your head that they're rushing. Get rid of the ball.
And there's your guy. There's your guy,
I
GM.
believe in you, Joey.
We can tell him that personally when we see him on Thanksgiving. Here's Leftwich. Another tip ball. Gaines Adams tips it, and Chris Hovan with the rare pick.
Byron's got a long delivery, and it takes the ball a while to come on out. That's his downfall.
Alex Smith catches this one. The route is on. And Tampa Bay wins this game by the final of 31-7. As Atlanta had an opportunity to come within 1 of the division lead with a win, but instead they lose. They're 3-7. Bobby Petrino now 2 losses shy of his entire loss total during his 4 seasons. Garcia and the Buccaneers taking on Adrian Peterson and the Vikings for the personal viewing pleasure of El Tigre.
Hey, he got some loot.
Well, fan? Well, it was Adrian Peterson teeing off early on in this game. Tied at 3.
Yeah, like that. Nice move.
On Rondé Barber. 22-yard gain for Adrian Peterson. The next play, 1st and 10 for the Tampa 43 with a minute to go in the first quarter. Bernard Berrien off the play action from Gus Frerotte.
Yeah, and off the milk cart, Chet out a week ago. He was able to make some big plays this game.
And then there was a 15 yards and roughing the passer tacked on. And then 6 plays later in the second quarter, it's Bobby Wade on that bubble screen.
That's your bubble screen now, Pine.
He showed us a bit.
Yeah, but he didn't celebrate in the end zone.
Well, he's the disciplined guy.
Well, maybe they watched Total Access on location last week. Everyone's tuned in. You never know. We could be a factor. First play of the second half with Minnesota up a touchdown, 13-6. It's Jeff Garcia to Antonio Bryant. 5 catches, 59 yards for Bryant. 9 plays later, 2nd and 25 at the Vikings 32. Garcia finds the lone remaining healthy tight end in Tampa. That would be Jeremy Stevens down to the 1. And that means it's time for a 1-yard drive from B.J. Askew.
Ask who?
Askew.
Push it in there.
Askew. We're tied at 13.
Bless you.
Now, the Vikings had a lot of opportunities in this game to win.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, after going up 16-13, the ensuing kickoff is dropped by Maurice Hicks. That added another field goal for the Buccaneers. 19-13. Tampa is up at home after that. Next drive for the Vikings, it's 4th and 3. They've got 2 timeouts left on their own 27. Instead of punting away and trying to get the ball back, they decided to go for it. It doesn't work out. And the problem with that would be if Tampa just tacked on 1 more field goal, they'd be up by 9 and wrap it up, except Matt Bryant couldn't do that. Missed from 46, meaning
There's still a game here.
Right, the Vikings have one last chance, and a touchdown, an extra point would win it. So, Frerotte to Chester Taylor with 1:20 to go. Taylor!
Hold on to it.
Doesn't.
Oh.
Rondé Barber recovers it. Jimmy Wilkerson forced the fumble. And the Buccaneers are 7-3. Minnesota drops to 5-5. His first career start, the Bucs dressed Josh Freeman up like Steve DeBerg. Steve DeBerg. Yep. And the creamsicles. Aaron Rodgers made the creamsicles melt with only his second play of the game.
Oh!
James Jones is off to the races.
San Jose State.
Give him the second play for 6.
74 yards.
What your mama and them saying?
The Packers kept kept Tampa in this game early with plays like this. Aaron Rodgers is picked by Elbert Mack.
To the sideline, baby. Albert Mike. Sound like is that?
Who's going to make this
Is that a
tackle?
comedian?
He opened up for Cedric the Entertainer. Elbert Mack
Albert Mack.
returned to the Packers 8. And then 2 plays later, Josh Freeman to James Wilder.
Right, nothing fancy.
Yeah. James Wells.
Took what they gave him.
Ward.
Nice throw.
The creamsicles throw me off.
Yeah.
So the game's tied. 14-7 Packers are up, but they're punting, and look out.
Can somebody block him?
A-gap. Rondé Barber scoops it. Oh, boy.
Gina Hayes almost took it off of the leg.
He almost intercepted the snap.
Game's tied at 14 on Mike McCarthy's crew. Packers. Next possession. Here's Aaron Rodgers to Donald Driver. That's a touchdown.
Got it.
So the Packers are back on top, but they're only up 21-17 at the half. That's your score in the third quarter. Talk about throwback. Here's Amon Green running the ball for the Packers and passing your guy, Steve.
Jimmy Taylor, that was my guy when I was growing up, Brian. Jimmy Taylor.
Most rushing yards ever by a Green Bay Packer. Amon Green passing Jim Taylor on that record. 6 plays later, fourth quarter, Rodgers holds on to the ball sometimes too long. In this case, it works out.
Do something with it.
Runs it in. Packers on top by 11. But here's the ensuing kickoff.
They only showed you this for 1 or 2 reasons.
It's a good one by Clifton Smith.
Oh, boy.
I still can't get over it. Is that salmon? Leroy Salmon colors? Is that what it is?
Leroy Salmon. What am I doing, Sam?
3 plays later, Freeman to Kellen Winslow, back of the end zone. And just when you would always think the Packers had this game in hand, they didn't.
That's excellent job by Josh Freeman, extending the play to the left, throwing it in the back of the end zone up tall.
They go for 2. It's incomplete. So the Buccaneers trail 28-23. Next possession, 3rd and 7 from the Packers 42. Freeman.
Nice adjustment on the ball.
By Jimmy Giles. No, my bad. That was Mark Clayton. The Packers 13. It's 4th and 4. Raheem Morris says go for it. We don't have a win this year. I don't need 3 points. I want 7.
Oh, nice.
And the Bucs get 7. Sammy Stroud, Freeman with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game and his first career start. Next Packers possession, they're down 3 with 4 minutes to go. Here's Leroy Selman. No, it's Ryan Sims.
Is it Warren Sapp? Who is that?
It looks like Sapp.
Sapp was slimmer than that.
Packers forced to punt. One last chance with less than a minute to go. 4th and 12, deep in their own end.
Get rid of it.
Rodgers.
Get rid of it.
Picked up by Tenard Jackson.
He knows what to do with it. Cut it back. Oh, he has experience.
Don't hold it up either.
Hey, hold it up.
Hold it up. Well, Raheem Morris gets to hold up his fist, his number 1 finger.
Hey, watch Doug. Doug Williams is in the background. Can you see his head?
Here he is. That is
NFC South at the AFC North in Cincinnati. The Buccaneers and the Bengals. Terrell Owens looking to spark that offense, and he would do that. Well thrown ball from Carson Palmer, 43-yard touch. Bengals up 7-0.
God.
But interceptions, fellas, become kind of a problem for Carson Palmer, especially when they turn into 6 points for the other team.
Had a lot of pick sixes. He and Ben Roethlisberger seemed to lead the league last year in pick sixes, and he's right back in the
What was he looking at right there, honestly?
That's just not the area to make that throw no matter what.
That's Cody Grimm, 11-yard touchdown. We're all tied at 7.
Rush Grimm.
Next drive, looking for Andre Caldwell. Got to catch that ball.
Absolutely. That's Bubba's fault.
Mike Nugent kicked a field goal. Bengals led at halftime 10-7. Third quarter, Josh Freeman to Mike Williams. Interference the call on Leon Hall. Take another look here to see if that call works or not.
Yeah, he's grabbing, pulling, pushing. Yeah, good call.
Set up an Ernest Graham touchdown. Bucks up 14-10. Next Bengals possession. Palmer to Jermaine Gresham, the first-round pick out of Oklahoma. He is not happy.
Have bad footwork, too. I mean, kind of dancing around back there. Some guys can dance around back there and make that throw and have velocity on it. But Carson's got to plant that foot to get enough zip on it.
This is Michael Spurlock taking it back 24 yards. At the end, the ball would come out, but he was ruled down by contacts. Marvin Lewis does not agree and challenges. Turned out to be a pretty good challenge because, as you'll see here, the ball did come out. Call is overturned, ruled a fumble, and Cincinnati has the ball on the 29. Adam Jones getting the attaboy. Fourth quarter, 7th play of the drive. Coming right back to Jermaine Gresham. Back of the end zone, Cincy touchdown. 2-point conversion was good, and Cincinnati leading 21-14.
Game over, right? Game over.
One might think.
2 minutes left. Not exactly, right, Carson?
Aqib Talib, an interception in every game he's played this year.
And that ball looked like it had a big arc on it, too, didn't it? And that was just a 15-yard inbound.
So the Buccaneers get the ball back. Midfield, just over 2 minutes left. 5th play of the drive. Josh Freeman to Mike Williams. The rookie they really like out of Syracuse, 20-yard touch.
Played well.
And we're tied at 21.
And imagine getting that kid some other frontline weapons. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in Tampa.
Interception train continues. Savvy Piscatelli with the tip.
That one I'm not going to put on Carson.
No, not his fault. No. Tampa Bay football with 14 seconds left. Buccaneers' next possession. First play of the drive. After the celebration, there would be the first play of the next drive. 1st and 10. Josh Freeman wants Michael Spurlock. He has him for 21 yards.
How can you allow that completion to take place so you get out of bounds as well? That's a great catch.
Yes, it is.
A great catch. But
5 seconds left. You let Connor Barth come out from 31 yards out. Perfect. And the Buccaneers win 24-21. Josh Freeman victorious. Raheem Morris, Carson Palmer on the other side, not so much. 3 interceptions as the Bengals lose by 3. They now have 3 losses on the year.
Highlights, and you really haven't delivered.
You know, Paul promises a lot of things.
Yes,
just a little late. Does he always come through?
Brady Quinn's patient, got a chance to play today. Josh Freeman would play better.
Have to wait over 3 years to get the highlight? You're asking for that kind of patience?
I think you're overdoing it, Tom. Okay. Josh Freeman picked off here. Justin Houston, good pass rusher, takes it back 45 yards.
Only mistakes today, Josh Freeman.
Ensuing Chiefs possession. So Kansas City with a chance to get off to a good start. Empty backfield. Brady Quinn picked off by the first safety taken this year. That's Mark Barron.
That just can't happen. Can't happen. I mean, throwing it a little bit behind him. Receiver doesn't bring it in.
Chiefs lead the NFL now with 20 turnovers. Wow. Meanwhile, Josh Freeman, huge today. A lot of success.
You know what that is?
Pushing the ball down the field is Mike Williams.
That's the peanut catch.
That might be honey roasted peanuts.
Explain that again.
Explain yourself.
That's when the peanut on top of your head, you go over top of a defender and grab the peanut, like picking peanuts on top of his head. It's a saying that we use in the locker room. Peanuts!
I appreciate you.
And the honey roasted kind.
Bringing that to the show. Bucs take a 7-0 lead. Second quarter now, Brady Quinn. Dwayne Bowe, nice catch. He didn't pick it off anybody's head.
No, he didn't. You know what? Dwayne Bowe, again, Jamal Charles, you've got some talent on that Chiefs roster. That's why it's been such a disappointment this year.
Third quarter, Tampa Bay on top, 7-3. 1st and 10. Freeman looking for Vincent Jackson. Has plenty of time to do so. Fires a strike, touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they look like that cover 2 defense. They're running in the red zone. The weakness of that defense is the middle of the football field. Great job by Josh Freeman finding.
Felt like I got a time machine. Felt like it was 2010 again with Josh Freeman throwing touchdowns.
Hey, there you go. How about this time machine right here?
Dexter McCluster couldn't come down with it. Bounces up to Rondé
This
Barber.
guy does not age.
Older than Darren Sharper.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Nobody's older than Darren Sharper.
It makes me feel like I can get back out there.
There are only 2 things.
Rondé Barber's still doing it.
Rondé Barber and dirt, the only 2 things older than
This
you.
ball basically handed to him.
Hey, that doesn't matter.
Picked it off the grass.
At the end of the day.
Didn't pick it off anybody's head, but he picked it off the grass.
Treat your elders
when he goes back
degree of.
and he looks at his stat line, it says interception to the house.
Buccaneers on top 21-3. Fourth quarter now. Michael Kanan has it blocked by Sean Drone, a backup running back. Then he tries to throw it.
Don't do that.
That's a bad idea.
Well, he gets penalized, and I think the NFL should fine him for not knowing the rules. Maybe that's a touch aggressive, but once you punch it.
An hour ago, you said it should be a penalty. Now you say it should be a fine.
Well, I actually thought he should be jailed as well, just for not knowing the rules. No, I'm joking. But how can he think that once he punts the football, he can then throw the football?
Edgar Jones picks it off at the 11-yard line. Play reviewed.
Has to be.
Touchdown. Chiefs trail 21-10. Freeman deep to Tyquan Underwood.
Wow. That lets you know it's not your day.
Yeah. The tip and the catch, and there he goes.
You know,
this is one of those games where anything is possible when you have 2 teams struggling in so many different areas.
No doubt.
Josh Freeman averaged over 20 yards per completion against this Chiefs pass defense.
And that's what he has, explosive receivers. You think about Williams and Jackson, guys that the football field.
And that is a big head of hair.
Does he have a pick with him underneath his pass? Keep his hair picked up.
Vincent Jackson, 4 catches and 2 touchdowns. There's a second right there.
Well, you mentioned it, Paul, getting the most out of your completions. 15 completions for Freeman, 328 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Again, I felt like I was in the time machine. It was against the Chiefs, albeit, but it was Josh Freeman making good decisions and getting the most out of each throw.
Over 20 yards per catch.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over 200 more yards of total offense than the Chiefs, and most importantly, 28.
Jameis Winston with a lot of time will run and throw. Touchdown, Mike Evans. Bucs are on the board. On third down, extra pressure coming. Time for Winston in the end zone. Touchdown. He reached back and grabbed it. Russell Shepard. Winston has it on the move. End zone throw for Evans. He reaches up, grabs it, and touchdown Buccaneers. Barber and Peyton Barber. There he goes. Into the end zone. It's a Bucs score. 44 yards for number 43.